I forgot to mention this until later in the discussion, but if you're a patron, we did change how topics are being handled. I did mention this last time, but I wanted to mention that at the beginning. If you're a patron, just go ahead and shoot us a topic suggestion on the Patreon, please, and we'll talk about it at some point. Thank you.
Are you ready?
Aren't you glad I didn't decide to fuck up the count? I was thinking about doing it on purpose.
No, isn't it a sign that we're just getting back into the swing of things finally? We fucking did the count correctly.
I think fucking up the count is part of the swing of things.
Damn, you know what? You fucking got me there. This episode's gonna be dog shit.
Unfortunate. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weeb Club. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing okay.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the audience. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus
okay, buddy.
Christ. That was so fucking just spiteful. I hope Nun feels bad.
Why?
I followed it with "I love you." It's okay. That makes it okay.
That's what all abusive parents say. You're just looping back around to your life.
Abuse is another form of love, Nunmanji. We've been over this.
Okay, buddy.
Sorry, I'm looking at the comments I just looked at the comments for the first time. Oh my god. I love the comments of the newest episode.
All the damage control.
Okay. More than the damage control, because we'll get to them because I love it. But more importantly, first I saw Luna's comment just now that said that I'm out here accusing everyone of theft when I stole that Sket Dance image from him. But that's not true. I decided while reading that was going to be my 4x4 spread.
Copium.
But outside of that, then just reading that and then immediately reading the Megaraphics comment that's Spoon stole the Hunter x Hunter image from me, and just seeing the fucking accusations fly of people stealing other people's images is really fucking funny.
It's just that Spider-Man meme where it's just the pointing and it's just like, you stole that image. No, you stole that image. What I was going to notice is because Titania said, since no one said it, Luna is built different, and then Megarap, which is funny, was funnier for me last time I saw it because it was really close to Megaraphics' comment, which was, unlike Luna, I found God and his name is Suzaku. So just something about seeing those two comments in proximity made me laugh.
Yeah, Code Yes is always funny and good. I agree.
But yeah, I thought it was really fun, like the day it went up, going through the comments and seeing people just like
justifying their 3x3 choices.
Yeah. Or just like explaining stuff or trying to just play damage control. It's really fun.
Well, the thing that gets me about it is this is the second time we've done this. So I feel like if you fixed your 3x3 after the first time, then it would have been better for this time, but then we still had a lot of the same. I mean, some of them were better. Like I remember Sushi's still had some issues this time, but before it was like even worse. It was really bad.
I don't remember what it looked like before.
It was just there was just a lot of like rough edges to the point that like the whole image was basically a rough edge. Like it was just like kind of regular. Where so you know just one example like that. I know. So there was some improvement for sure, but you know also like I don't know. I was hoping for I don't know. It'll get worked out one of these days.
Yeah.
Ryan Thomas, I have a fucking issue with your comment where he's been listening to our podcast for a while and he still doesn't know who Who's Who is. Fucking excuse me.
I feel like our voices
This is Who's Who.
Well, I feel like...
No. Okay, so I'll just explain real quick. So Craftsdwarf, the guy named Craftsdwarf, he's the black one.
Okay, shut up.
Vindy is the guy who makes a lot of analytical One Piece videos. Yeah. And I make a lot of chapter reviews. Well, I used to, but I don't really do that anymore.
I don't know. I would think that we have like... And I guess it's because, you know, one of them is my voice and then I hear the other two. But I feel like our voices are relatively distinct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a shitty joke, but okay.
Also, just the way we talk is different.
I'm surprised they can't hear the old man rattling in my voice.
It is
Anyway,
what it is.
Do you have any more comments to respond to, or are we moving on to the Reddit?
I feel like there was one, but I'm not sure now.
I mean, do you want to answer where the heck is Motorcycle Guy? What is he up to? Or her, if it's Karin?
I don't know. It's not my fault. You guys haven't heard them either, so it's not like I've been cutting them out. So
Likely story, bub.
Oh, there actually was a Titania comment I liked. It was the other one where they said that they can't hate anime for stupid reasons anymore, and that means we did our job. Stop hating things for dog shit reasons. If you're gonna hate it, just like admit to yourself that you're just being a hater. Don't try to come up with a reason why you're right under God's eyes, because you're probably just grasping at straws and being dumb as fuck. You know what I mean?
Though yeah, about the second part, because there's the all of her friends left for being annoying. So that's possibly a joke. I hope it's a joke.
That happens to me. No, that happens to me.
Okay.
People get so fucking mad when they're trying to be a hater and they're bad at it, and you're telling them they're dumb as fuck for being a hater. People get mad. I've like pissed friends off, but I don't care because I'm right.
Yeah, well, because I guess I haven't talked too much with, because I don't know, I definitely had my period. My period was more annoying about it was also like just a few years ago when I was just starting to get into YouTube. But I talk with like normies as well, like my little brother and a former coworker of mine who's a good friend of mine, and we talk, and they just I've just gotten other perspectives from them, and they're not really like super down on series. Like they'll go like, man, this series sucks, and that, so it's like, I don't know, maybe I just haven't run into those kind of hater people normies, like me from 5 years ago.
Here's the thing, so normies aren't haters, right? Most like normal people are like chill as fuck and just they enjoy what they enjoy, and if they don't, they're just like, it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like even like the average person who probably like bought and then dropped Elden Ring and didn't get that far into it, they'd probably just tell you like, yeah, it wasn't for me. I see how people like it. Wasn't my game.
The coworker I mentioned, he's literally tried like half the FromSoft games and he just can't get into them.
Yeah, and that's like fine.
Why did you buy Elden Ring? It's even harder than Bloodborne. Like, why did you? Which you are? I know you had a problem with. Like,
the problem is, it's people who start thinking that they're like, when you start getting more into it, and you're like, oh, I actually care about this, so now that means I have a big brain about it. And like I've watched some YouTube videos, so you just start making shit up. And the problem is, a lot of the people making the YouTube videos are also just making shit up.
Yeah, they're fucking like my fucking little brother a while ago. He like was shitting on Spider-Man 2, and I know he fucking watched a video that was like 2 hours of just making horrible points about Spider-Man. He hadn't watched the movie in fucking years, but he was like, yeah, it's not very good. It's not the best Spider-Man movie. I'm like, motherfucker, when was the last time you watched it? I know you're fucking quoting some shitty YouTube video. Like, I want to hear your opinion. And he's changed. That was years ago. But like,
Damn.
So not even just like thinking you know things, but also like outsourcing your opinion to fucking other people, and instead of having your own, which I think a lot of people, everyone does that to some degree. But I think if it's something you care about or you're discussing, then you should probably have your
own, so. Is probably a direct correlation with how much YouTube people watch about a topic and how dog shit their takes are on it.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is just like, for some
until
things,
you start
the perfect
the real
avenue.
Yeah, the
to
real
make people
change
think they know things.
Is when you start watching videos as a hater. You know what I mean? That's, I think, where the EWBs actually kick in. We don't hate the series. We're haters of the people talking about the series. So I go into a YouTube video now, I click on it, I'm like, what dumb shit is this guy gonna say? You know what I mean? I already am against their takes from minute one. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can't even watch YouTube videos anymore. Part of the reason is definitely because like, the people who, I just like so Mr. Morris, for example, really cool guy. I did a podcast with him. He does One Piece content. If
Craftsdwarf
you go to his channel, like, you know what? He's got like a video a week for every chapter, and probably more. Honestly, he's got shitloads of subs. I remember when he had fucking nothing, and now he's got like fucking like 16 or 160K or something like that. Like, he's playing the YouTube game, and if you look at his videos, you can see it because the thumbnails and titles are awful in like the way they're like clickbaity.
Oh my god!
I like, and I'm sure the video could be really good. I just don't feel like clicking it when I see a video like, oh look, it's like a fan art of what Eam might look like from One Piece, and I'm just like, I don't. That's not real. That's not. I don't want to click it. It's lying to me. I know, but it's like the video could still be really good. But it's like, I just I remember when I did the fucking Kill la Kill video. So that video was actually supposed to be for Pause and Select's Novid November, which was like the idea was you have to make a video, but you have to like situate it in the space of YouTube, and that you have to respond to like 3 other videos. I literally couldn't watch the other videos. Like, I was like, I'll watch these other magical girl videos and videos on Kill la Kill being a magical girl anime, so I can respond to them. And I just fucking hated them so much, I literally couldn't finish them.
Oh yeah, that is a oh fuck, true.
What the fuck is that? Like, look at that! Look at that! That's not even. We know who the last straw hat is. Hello? This is so stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what? Okay, maybe the video isn't that good, but I don't know.
Nah,
he's playing the YouTube game. I can't even be too mad.
Yeah, I do agree with that thing of like, I know it'd be kind of somewhat beneficial to maybe watch some YouTube videos to make sure like people think what I think they think, but it's so hard to like sit through a video to verify that it's gotten to the point where like I don't even know how I'm ever supposed to like reasonably respond to things and know that's what people are saying, because like it's so hard to engage with the actual like video and sit through someone saying some dog shit.
Okay, so really quickly, we can like directly take this into the topic, but we should get to the Reddit first, I think.
Yeah, we should put
before we get
this,
to
we're just gonna jump into the
Reddit's
Reddit.
bad, but yeah.
Well, first off is the duality of the podcaster, which the Weeb Club one is 100% fucking accurate. I swear to fucking God.
I actually love memes that are like Craftsdwarf on the Weeb Club versus Craftsdwarf on the Nin Show. It's actually so funny to me because like it just is true and like it's so silly.
Well, like, to explain the joke with the Nensho one for people who don't watch is that, so Mathwis does absolutely do the reading, and she doesn't even, like, she's always struggled to read manga, like, she just can't get through it nearly as quickly as I do, which was a real problem with Gintama, because it was really long and there were a lot of words, so, which is part of the reason why it just kind of killed the energy on the Nensho, but, during the podcast, I literally go chapter by chapter, and we sort of, as we talk about what happens, so that's I'm reading it to Mathwis, basically. So I understand it's funny,
but also that was like specifically that was me reading Ichigo 100%. For those who don't know, like I read that the day we recorded it because I'd read like 80 chapters or something and couldn't stand it, and so I was in voice all day the day we recorded, talking to like Nun and a couple other people I think, and read all of Ichigo 100%, and I was just getting fired up and liquored up to record that episode. It was a shit show.
That episode was, a highlight of the Weeb Club for sure, for various reasons, and that's definitely one of them.
But all right,
yeah, that's a good post.
Yeah, there's I guess an edit of Cloud is me. It's silly.
And then there's apology letter that's just tee-hee, and then a fan art that I
This guy's weird.
Dude, honestly,
he needs to fucking stop. If he keeps teeing, I'm gonna ban him. Enough is enough.
That image is funny though. Just to use that image after
it goes
like,
hard. It goes really hard.
Like it's silly.
Well, another way it goes soft, but I'm gonna leave that to.
There's just so much power behind it because he really is saying like, what are you gonna do about it? It's like, you know what, you got me there, I guess.
What do you think about him dropping your full government name, Vincent Vondo?
Well, Vondo's not the full last name.
Nah, it is. He dropped the full.
Shut up, Vincent, and explain the topic.
Yeah. So the topic, which we've already talked about a bit, is just people being dumb as fuck online. Just people being absolutely stupid, just brainless. You know what I mean? Like the internet rots all of our brains, and some people just can't help sharing that inadvertently with the world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's not even a hot take. Like I think a lot of people would agree with that. But also, it still needs to be fucking said, especially since we exist in a space where I think like we care a lot about understanding things and being knowledgeable and correct without being assholes about it. Because I think there's also people who take being right to the point where it's like an intellectual superiority, like fucking dick wanking thing. So. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Craftsdwarf, are you ready to go off? You ready to fucking grill the people you want to grill?
I don't know if that. Well, I don't know if it's that relevant actually. So like that's more. I don't know. Less bullying people who deserve it, and more just like. Well, I just think the way the internet works in some ways kind of like facilitates this, right? Like Twitter is a great fucking example because it's responded to as it's like like echo chambers and rage reactions.
Well,
like I use the simple Twitter add-on, which I'd highly recommend, where what it does is it basically like you don't see trending topics, you don't see recommended tweets, and part of the reason I did it is because Twitter was fucking literally show me tweets that were gonna piss me off, like people just fucking saying stupid shit about shonen manga and like they're literally trying to anger me, like literally evil shit that their system is doing because they want reactions, they want activity on their goddamn website. So I have simple Twitter, so now it literally just shows me what I want to see, which is the tweets from the people I follow, nothing else. But what were we gonna say, Vindy?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to get to the boring part of the discussion right away, so I mean, all social media is driven by engagement because they want your eyes on them all the time. And what drives engagement more than something controversial, and so because of that, the controversial things are what Twitter wants to show you, right? The thing that's going to make you get mad and go into the comments and look at comments and start flaming people. That's what they want to show you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And like that goes not even just obviously like, there's like the media aspect, I guess, right? Where, some guy just has dumb takes about like a fucking children's comic book series. But like, that also like happens with like politics and stuff, right? And so that causes people to just say progressively dumber and dumber shit, not only to try to one-up each other because people like one-upping each other anyways, but, people want clout, and if being controversial and just saying shit gets engagement, gets people looking at you, that gets you clout, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of feeds itself by nature of like its own inherent toxicity. And so that's just like a large part of it.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that like when it comes to Twitter and other platforms, there's like there's literally just incentive to keep around even like the most vitriolic people at times, to the extent of which they can, until like it becomes like a mainstream big deal that they have to like do something about it, just for the sake of keeping around that like back and forth argument. Even just with like the big guy that everyone loves, including Vindy specifically, Andrew Tate, who's definitely kept around longer. Like if platforms wanted to, they definitely could have found reasons to ban him way before when they did. Because like just by the fact of like saying you did criminal stuff or like basically promoting criminal activity to some extent is something that you can justifiably ban. Has been done before.
At the end of the day, he's making them more money than he was losing them by being as big as he was without being too big, right? Like that's what that kind of thing ultimately comes down to, right? Is like if you're big enough that you're making a money, but you're not too big to where everyone's talking about you and you make the platforms look bad, that's what'll get him to like. That's like ultimately why someone like Andrew Tate gets banned, right? Is he gets so big that he makes all these platforms look bad, so they have to ban him. But if he had just stayed at a smaller size, they wouldn't have cared. He was making a money.
So I'm just trying to think of what I have to add.
Yeah, you barely know who these people are. You're like 70 years old.
No, I know, but I was going to suggest that maybe for the audience you could explain, because not everyone watching would.
No.
Okay, so Andrew Tate is a guy who got prominent. I know most of y'all do because he like if you just like look at the trends, and also all of our fans are terminally online because why else? How else? First of all, did you find the Weeb Club? And second of all, like, you know, how else are you like sitting here watching, right? But essentially, he was a guy who got big.
He was a social media personality,
really
businessman, and former professional kickboxer. I know this, but the audience might not.
Just really misogynistic shit is like what got him big, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
Like Andrew Tate is like the kind of grifter where he gets big on appealing to lonely, horny guys that don't know how to treat women as people. And that's what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And so then they want to get upset, and instead of looking inward at like, why am I wrong? They get all these guys telling them, you know, you're not wrong. Women are wrong. And they get big. And so that's what Andrew Tate was. You know, there's a lot of other people that say similar things and have said similar things for a long time to what he does. He's not anything. He doesn't say anything unique or do anything unique. You know, he just had money from, you know, what we know now is definitely a lot of different illegal activity and flaunted that wealth. And, you know, he's in Romanian jail. So, you know, it is what it is.
Rip Bozo.
Yeah, Rip Bozo. True.
But yeah, I guess like, because, you know, it's like on one hand, people are fucking stupid and they need to recognize that. But also, like, you know, people in general just lack self-awareness. And yeah, when we have internet systems like allowing it, then yeah, but it's a bit harder to blame them in that sense, because it's like, well, you know, especially when there's money in it, like there's other aspects incentivizing things, right? So like, not that it shouldn't be, you know, criticized or responded to, but what were we gonna say?
Yeah, well, no, I understand that, and I'm not even gonna like hard, like, I guess, disagree. I just think that, like, you know, I don't think it's as simple as like stupid people recognizing that they're stupid, because like,
no, it's, yeah,
like, they're stupid, they don't know they're stupid, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, everyone likes to think they're smart. That goes for my dumbass, so I'm sure it goes for every other like idiot like using the internet, you know what I mean? Like, it like, what it really comes down to is like, I don't know, like everyone's dumb and the internet makes you want to say dumb shit, but sometimes people take being dumb just a little too far. And I think it manifests in a lot of other ways, right? Like, another way that like it shows up is like, you know, people will do like people who do dumb like things physically, right? Like, you know, they hurt themselves for YouTube views, right? That's just another example of just people wanting clout online and doing stupid shit. Prank videos were also, you know what I mean? Like, the internet just makes people go fucking feral. And if I'm gonna be honest, I love it. I'm sorry, I do. It is my favorite thing to watch and to see and to bear witness to.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, this is definitely, like, you know, Jackass was a thing around when the internet was a thing, but before it started becoming like, or maybe my timeline is a bit wrong,
now
but, like,
anyone,
you know,
can be a guy on Jackass, as opposed to, you know, needing funding behind you and being like everyone can want to be that famous and strive to be that famous, and everyone thinks they can be that famous. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Like, yeah, you definitely get that. I feel, where was I just seeing discussion about that, of just people who thinking I could do that, like, because you get that sit with,
it was
like,
in
my
my like personal
server.
Discord server, because
Okay,
my brother
that
said that all the normies he knows at work think they can be like Twitch famous.
That was it. Yeah.
What? Hello?
Well, yeah, because I've been thinking
I
about
get
it, 'cause my
TikTok,
brother,
but Twitch? What?
Yeah, and what you have to remember about that is a lot of the people who say that have just never tried it. You know what I mean? Like, they all tell themselves, if I could just, like, you know, do it and find the time to grind it. But, like, you know, I think all three of us have in different ways grinded, you know, making content online. And I think we all, like, we're at a point now where it's like, you know, we're not going to make it big. We don't have what it takes.
Yeah, well, because I'll talk about that in a second, but just to give another sort of more normie-ish example with my little brother, is he watches YouTube. Like, he watches so much YouTube, like, because his phone will keep track of how much he watches, and he's like, he's said it's like a full-time job. Like, that's how much he watches YouTube, basically. And so I've definitely noticed, like, sometimes he'll say things where it's like, you know, he definitely maybe like, cause he says, wow, this video is this old and it doesn't have 1 million views yet, because he watches a lot of the biggest and most popular, like, streamers and YouTubers and stuff, right? So, and I'm just like, getting a video to 1 million is, like, most videos on YouTube don't even have, like, 10 views, or maybe, I forget what the exact statistic is, but there's just, like, so many like, YouTube just has so many videos that just go nowhere, and so many accounts that just don't have subscriptions.
And it's genuinely so hard to make a video that is of the quality, even if it's not something you like, that is of the quality to get 1 million views. You know what I mean?
Right. Like even for, because speaking personally, because I have, because, I mean, I'm friends with Mathwiz, and she has a couple videos that have hit 1 million. Maybe not always good videos, but, besides, they're older videos. That's like, I think we talked about her, Sword Art Online abridged one on stream. But like, even, thinking about it is like, so to go back to my content for a second, because I did try to make YouTube as a career, but I didn't, like, do what YouTube wants, because I feel like certain, you didn't, like, vision
play the game.
Like, exactly, like, my thumbnails aren't YouTube thumbnails, my titles aren't YouTube thumbnails, because I see part of it is also just, like, I'm making videos that I want to watch, right? Like, I don't want to make a video that I think is bad, or that I think is lying, in its title or thumbnail. Right? So yeah, at the end of the day, like, in the YouTube sense, they aren't that good of videos, but also, like, I still gotten, like, a really, like, I've gotten, I have, like, what, 27,000 subs. I have videos that, like, my Sasuke video, which I still think is really solid, and it does have a huge amount of views, and I'm really satisfied with that. Even, it's not, like, the best of my videos, I don't think, because I made it relatively earlier, but especially considering the point in where I was as a YouTube person when I made it, like, that video is fucking phenomenal, right? And then but, like, yeah, maybe I could have done better if I compromised more and did less videos on Aikatsu and Tokusatsu and more videos on just, like, I did one fucking video last year. My Dragon Ball. Guess what? I made a video on Dragon Ball, and it fucking did numbers relative to a lot of my other videos. So what were you gonna say, Nun?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. It's just the Toku thing.
I'll do this whole month on Tokusatsu. It'll do numbers. Do numbers.
Yeah, I think your thing's interesting in the sense that, like, even if you wouldn't have become, like, crazy big, or, like, I do think there is, like, an avenue in which, like, you probably could have gotten bigger without doing, like, as much of the dog shit that people do. Like, you didn't have to become, like, a Morge with, like, only One Piece and, like, constant One Piece bumping. But, like, you would have had to become an Alexander, I feel like.
You definitely would.
I think you would get bored of.
You would have had to talk about a lot more of, like, the current, first of all, seasonal shows. Just find something. And then you would have to find your niche into, like, other like, popular in the same, like, kind of sphere, like, normie content, right? Like, how he does, like, Breaking Bad videos? You'd have to start doing, like, Sopranos videos or something. Or, like, BoJack videos. You know what I mean? Like, something like that to just...
Alexander's a good comparison, but also, like, because another problem that I ran into is that, like, because there was a good while where I just did, like, watch a show and do a video explaining point of show or whatever, like, but then I got to the point where that wasn't interesting for me anymore. Like, I remember, like, Promised Neverland, like, Nun, you suggested I should do a Promised Neverland video because it's a series that needs a good video on it, because people just fucking
I was cringe.
The shit
it's
of that
fine.
series.
I don't care about anybody making a video.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but also, like, at the time, I like the series, but I couldn't give that a video because it just wasn't the type of video I wanted to make anymore, where it's just like, because that aspect, and then where I was going with my channel was doing the more heavy research intensive videos. Like, I think my Monster Hunter video, the colonialism one, the Kill la Kill video are good videos, and they have, and I did research and work into them, but that just doesn't have a good turnover time, and then shit happened with life that I just couldn't consistently make videos, so it's it's just basically, it just didn't work out for a number of reasons. But, like, I guess, at the end of the day, it's like, even if I didn't make a career out of it, like, I'm still satisfied with the videos I made. Like, I can still rewatch a bunch of them and be like, damn, that was a good fucking video. The one regret I have is that I got too fucking overconfident with a certain edit in my Beyond Blood video, and it got taken down because if there was a video that I would have made that might have gotten 1 million views, it might have been that one, because it was like fucking emotional. It was relevant because I talked about the Katakuri fight literally within a week after it ended, more or less. It was, here's why Whole Cake Island's fucking good, because no one was fucking getting that the arc is fucking good at the time while it was going, and I got constant questions on Curious Cat about people like, why is Big Mom abusive even though she talks about equality? Because she's an evil piece of shit. Hello? Like, just, like, that video just fucking hit. And then it got taken down by YouTube because I was too cocky and I used too much of the series for one part, and it got taken down, and I couldn't even re-uploading it when it fixed it, and it's unfortunate. So that's the only thing I really regret, honestly. It's just I wish I'd fucking edited that part better so that video would still be up.
Sad.
Sorry, I went on a tangent there.
Go off,
It's
King.
fine.
But yeah, to go back, I guess to wrap that back around to the original point, is like, yeah, but it's fucking harder than it looks, because especially like, because like I think what normies see is they see these really popular guys and they maybe make it look easy because they have a certain skill set that just makes it like ideal for like that, they what they already do or what they learned to do is really good for what they're able to do. It fits what the platforms they're on are looking for and what the people who view them are looking for. And then there's also they don't necessarily, you only see the positive, you don't necessarily see all the failures and what it took for them to get to that point, right? So
exactly, that's what I was gonna say, is there's a lot of people grinding and working a job, like like the idea of like, oh well, if I just had time to grind I could do it. It's like the people who did it were working their job and then they would go home and grind,
stay up all night,
either working on videos or grinding, streaming, sleep a couple hours, and then you know what I mean, like it like, yeah, if everyone wants to do it, you have to be like that level of dedicated or that level of like talented. Nobody is, you know what I mean?
Even when you look at people like Moist Critical or like Mudahar or whatever, who are just like talking in front of the camera for most of the time, when you actually like try to do that and get your points across, like unscripted and like flow from point to point without
and to be
forgetting
like,
what you were
funny
saying,
as Moist Critical
and all
is,
that
and like make
Moist
the
Critical's
jokes.
not that funny anymore. Grow up.
No, but, I think but he's good at making jokes and continuing the point without.
Yeah, that's true. But like, yeah, so like when you actually try to do that, it's way like insanely harder than it actually seems. Like I've tried to record several like times just going unscripted about something, and even if like I understand the thing I'm talking about, it's just so hard to keep track of what I've already said and what like is connecting back to the points that I brought up. Cause like I just feel like when you actually sit down to record something, it's so much different than like having a conversation or thinking something in your head, or like especially when it's you by yourself and there's no one to bring you back on topic, like like in a conversation. So it's just kind of like It's very easy to just go down a tangent that doesn't even like connect back to what you were saying, and then like trip over your words. Like those people are like actually insanely good at speaking, and even though like I think of Moist Critical as kind of like normie content and it's not shit that I like to watch, but like it is like far better than like what I will ever like give it credit for consciously in the moment.
Yeah,
I feel like people forget that
Makes
like
sense.
most people can't do that naturally.
No, yeah, like I don't really watch him, but my brother was talking about how Ludwig will just fucking talk for ages without a script or anything and just go and just he's just really good at that as well, and that's a really good skill to have for especially like streaming, and where you're not running off of the script and just being able to improvise and ad lib and being funny. Like there's just a lot of, like I said, skills that you need, and like I can fucking barely say words even with a script, like that aren't like or yeah. So yeah, like yeah, damn it. See,
I feel like some people when they think they can do the things that other people do if they just quote unquote had the time, it's just fucking like, it's really
yeah, because I think because most people can probably make the time, they just don't have the courage or will to do so. Like I spent I jacked off for like fucking 3 hours today, and I took a nap for like 2, so I could have been doing something else.
Goat.
Based, I guess.
My fucking MC right there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I played Red Dead Redemption for like 5 hours today, so you know what?
That's cool.
Yeah, the game was hard.
So I mean, there's something else I wanted to talk about in regards to this topic. I just don't know how to fucking link it back to what we've already been talking about.
Is it what we were talking about before?
Well, that too, but no, I didn't want to get to that yet.
Oh, okay,
but,
then never mind.
I mean, I just generally wanted to talk about how like people have this very, very disconnected viewpoint on the importance of them saying something online, and like
Yeah,
part of why I try my damnness to not like actually really tweet anymore, just because like it literally does not matter me to give commentary on some random fucking thing through a tweet. Like literally, who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's super dumb how like random people always feel the need to like give their opinion on certain things.
there's a massive amount of vanity to any kind of posting online, and I feel like that's something that, you know, I think people either understand and have come to terms with, or they just like don't think about. But like, you know, anytime like, you know, any of us have uploaded a video, or anyone makes a tweet, or like a post on anything, even like a message in Discord, to some extent, right, that changes after a point. But like when you first send a message, like there's a massive level of like, you know, like vanity, right? Like you're asking people to, you know, look at you and pay attention, and you think that, you know, what you have to say is worth something. And like, you know, it could be, it probably isn't, but you know.
Yeah.
I just feel like for the people who are still in the wave of like responding to like every bad take that they see about something, they just are so disconnected from the fact that like there's already so many other people like fighting that battle for you. It's not necessary for like you to respond to someone saying something dumb.
Yeah, but it
about,
is
like,
cathartic to do it.
Dragon Ball or something. Like it's definitely very different for like actually serious topics. Like I can't truly like say like don't give your piece on that, because it is important, I guess, in some capacity. But for certain things, it's like, bro, like your tweet that's gonna get like 10 likes max just does not matter when there's probably someone else already like doing that, but maybe more successfully or something. Or even if they're not, like at the end of the day, you know, you're not actually going to change the tide of like the discourse. It's literally just for the purpose of like feeling like you dunked on that person and like you did something, when you're not really managing to do much about it and not really doing anything productive about it.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I just sort of thought of is also like the thing without Twitter and dunking on dumb people works is that sometimes those dumb people get an audience, and then like now, and even like bullying thing, like it becomes like a cycle of they make dumb takes and bullying them becomes a thing, but also like they're also getting more views and people are following them. Like I remember back on my server, there was just like, who's the fucking Twitter clown of the month, who we're just gonna laugh at for a month and then just move on to some other Twitter clown. Right, which is just like you're continuing
like,
to
some
get,
of them
by
are just,
talking
like,
about these
random
people,
ass
you're giving them more of a voice. But what were you gonna say, Nun?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like some of them were just completely random people, and it was also one of those things where like I do feel like they are like gaining a voice. Like what is that guy's name? Critical, I think.
That's the one I was
pretty
thinking
sure
of, honestly.
He partially became a little more popular because like he was just known as the guy who was saying things but made people angry, but he still continued to say the things. So like eventually that did grow on people, and he like, has some kind of a backing, I guess.
Well, and I also know that the moment one of these people said like something that they agreed with, they were like, "Oh, redemption arc, like, a person has multiple fucking opinions."
That shit is so L. I hate that. I hate when people do that. When they're just sitting there waiting for the guy that they like 99% of the time they don't like what they have to say, but it's just like on their cock the moment they say something good about thing I like.
Yeah, it's I like, as I'm remembering more names, I just don't even want to bother saying them because I'm like, God, I don't care. Oh God, yeah, just yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
How much more do you have on the topic, do you think?
I mean, it depends. I could go for all day about this shit, but also I don't know if I want to go for all day about this shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but when we keep it a kind of shorter episode, so
yeah.
Maybe
I think
do a couple, or wrap
I'll
up
expand
and then
really
give a couple backlog
quickly.
rotations.
Yeah, I'll expand really quickly on something I said earlier that like I want to like just say again because like it actually, at least for me, is so true. Is that like, look, something about like. And it's different with all sorts of people, right? With like old white women, it's Facebook makes them go fucking feral. You know what I mean? For a lot of younger people, it's like Twitter or like TikTok comments or like whatever, right? But like something about the internet makes people go fucking feral and lose their minds. And you know what? I fucking love it. I am here for it, and I will watch it like every fucking day. Like that shit bangs.
Well, I guess we could talk about the thing that we were talking about earlier now.
Oh, we could. I mean, if you still want to.
Yeah, why not?
So I mean, it's the Aiden Ross stuff, which, you know, obviously not everyone knows. I know Craftsdwarf, you don't know.
No, I definitely
don't want to.
I just want you to explain
you do?
to the
Okay.
audience.
To give a brief rundown, he was one of the biggest streamers in the world, and he had been streaming on a competitor to Twitch, Kick, that's like a recently come up competitor. Was kind of doing some funny shit, like re-streaming the entire Super Bowl and streaming porn to his audience of, you know, everyone knows they're like 9-year-old kids.
Oh, God.
And then got banned on Twitch for like saying like there are only two genders and stuff like that. And has just been going off on like, he's just been losing his mind, you know, saying all sorts of, you know, far like Nazi stuff and like anti-trans stuff. But like the first thing I'll say about it all, like at the end of the day, is that like obviously it's not good that he's saying this, but he is so genuinely stupid. Like if you haven't seen that clip of him trying to read the definition of fascism. Or like I'll give you Craftsdwarf and I guess the viewers an example. I was telling Nun earlier when we were talking before we got in here to record, which is like I saw a clip of him and he was talking about like why there are only two genders. And I'm gonna say parts of this and then break it down because it's so just bonkers. But he's like, yeah, so there are only two genders because when you go to a gender reveal party, there's, you know, boys and girls, which like. In what world are there only two genders because of a gender reveal party? That's what determines it. This entire socially constructed thing, gender reveal parties. That's why. Okay? But then he keeps going and he's like, yeah, you know, there's the blue balloon or the purple balloon.
Oh my God.
Hello? Like,
I didn't realize that his idea of gender identity was constructed based entirely on balloons.
yeah, like so like the problem is that obviously his audience are 9-year-olds.
The comedy behind that one too is he doesn't even have the right colors.
Right,
like what the fuck?
yeah, like it's blue and pink, and like obviously blue and pink, like everyone knows that. So like it's just, and like if he's like part of me is just convinced he is a character and that no one can be that dumb, but also like you watch that fascism video, it's like that is no one is smart enough to come up with that. You know what I mean? It's just bonkers. And so like that's the first thing for me every time is that like I just think about it's like, dude, this guy's like so dumb that like no one's taking him seriously. But obviously the other side of that is, you know, the people who do take him seriously are fucking children who are his audience. So
yeah, I mean, and the thing with him is like it's really more so about like the people he is inevitably bringing on to his thing.
Yeah, and
like,
platforming them.
Not as goofy and like,
and even like
more serious individuals, I guess.
Yeah, well, and
actually know how to spread their harmful things in like better coded ways and just kind of like a little more slimy, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, even like on that, you know what I mean? Like just platforming not even the people, but sometimes the ideas. Like you're bringing it up and you're going to get more people, you know. And obviously, you know, people are going to say anyways like, "Oh, well, you know, especially like the Nazi shit, like not only is it like, you know, everyone fucking knows about the Nazis, but also like, you know, he's not even the most prominent person recently to go down, you know, the pipeline, but like that still doesn't make it okay. But you know, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just a broad topic. I'm not sure how to wind down on it. So,
he's just like he's dumb, and like I think most people would be able to.
I think his case is when like that self-centered like attention seeking, the thing of like doing anything for attention and clout becomes like gets to like the extreme extent, especially when he does like already have an audience, whereas like other people being dumb, they don't really have an audience, so eventually it kind of fizzles out and like doesn't result in anything like crazy. But like he's one of the few dumb people who made it, and like, you know, that's kind of like what you turn into.
Yeah. All right, do you want to go to
backlog rotation?
Yeah. Nunmanji.
I didn't finish anything this week.
Me neither. It's okay.
I could talk about Code Geass again.
Have you gone through anything that you think you probably don't need to get back to, or it would take you so long to get back to, you would have completely new to finish that you would have completely new things, or at least different things to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, I have stuff that I would have completely new things to say about, but I could just talk about Code Geass again because I like Code Geass. I'm a big gay ass.
I respect it.
I actually unironically want to talk about Code Geass again.
Let's go.
Shouldn't.
3 weeks in
Go
a
ahead.
row.
Let's
fucking go. Look, I'm extending the Suzaku arc. I like Suzaku more than I liked him last episode again. Let's go.
This fucking guy.
Look, like, just the fact that he's literally just like. So I think before on the last episode, I was somewhat downplaying how the narrative like has him have his comeuppance to some extent. I'm starting to think there was enough there to where like I'm mostly satisfied with it. Just because like part of the point was like Suzaku the whole time was making excuses for his actions, and like his shit is like he literally does whatever's possible to have the moral like high ground above Lelouch, above Zero. So the fact that like I feel like I was somewhat misinterpreting that like I was misinterpreting it as the narrative kind of trying to make it seem like Suzaku isn't as bad as Lelouch, when that's really like more so part of Suzaku's character of like he's doing like, so for example, right, Suzaku will literally like he'll do like bad things just so that he can like get one up on Lelouch. So like it literally just shows that he's doing whatever it takes to look better than Lelouch, and that's like it's not Code Geass trying to be like Suzaku is more justified than Lelouch, especially when like by the end he stops saying the ends don't justify the means. He literally like directly says that he was being naive and that he was wrong, and like by the end both of them do have the same belief that like sometimes the ends are like sometimes the means, like sometimes you have to do bad things to achieve great things, and that's like literally what the Zero Requiem was about, like their final plan together. So like I just feel like I was wrong about Suzaku. I do like Suzaku now. Just the fact that like, and also like the fact that he becomes Zero and like takes on that mantle, it does just kind of like show that he needed to let go of his false sense of like moral high ground and stuff, because like especially when like Lelouch by the end, right, he stops making excuses for his actions and accepts like all the sin and all the like bad things he's done. Like even when like Suzaku says to Lelouch that like, why'd you kill Euphemia? Like even though the Euphemia thing was it's like to some extent like a genuine mistake, Lelouch doesn't even like try to explain that. He just says like, yeah, I killed Euphemia, and all these things happened because of me. Like he doesn't even like try to like say anything about that. I don't know. I really like Code Geass. It's insane. I'm thinking R2 is like kind of a favorite now.
Let's go.
And Lelouch is definitely very up there in terms of favorite characters, I would say. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I even explained like the Suzaku shit to the extent of which I've been thinking it, but it goes back to the thing of like it's kind of hard to say it off the top of my head. But I have been trying to like think about my thoughts on Code Geass more and kind of come to an understanding of it. Yeah. And also like I do think there's this interesting thing that Code Geass does is like, even though obviously by the end Lelouch is seen as a villain by the world at large, he still has that like dedicated group of people who understand what his final intentions were, and he's looked at as a hero because of it. Where Suzaku, Suzaku doesn't get that, which is like interesting, and like it kind of goes against what I was like maybe propagating of like how the narrative sees Suzaku as like not as bad, when like they're both very hypocritical and both extremely self-centered, with like the fact that Suzaku killing his own father and having all these regrets is like making him like be all over the system's cock, just because he feels this responsibility to like show that he was right for killing his father by following the system, because like if the system actually does turn out to like not have any justice within it, or he's not able to actually change it, he killed his father for nothing. And that was something like he needed to basically like accept and like realize that like he really doesn't actually have these beliefs of like the ends don't justify the means. He just doesn't want to accept that, because by the end he really doesn't like actually like, not that he doesn't actually care about the bad things he's doing, but he doesn't mind going into this darkness that Lelouch/Zero was doing the whole time. Like that's part of why he literally becomes Zero, because like he is also willing to do the same things. They're both, you know, just as bad and just as like, they're both insane, they're both self-centered, they're both like they both have these same like bad things about like the same like flaws. So it's like, I don't know. I'm a big Code Geass guy. It's good.
Yeah.
You can go ahead, Vindy.
So I'll talk about a book again, but just because everything else I've been doing is long, and I'm not done with this book, but I don't think I'm gonna have anything else interesting to say about it, which is I've been reading The Hobbit. Ooh. And first of all, Tolkien is so aggressively British, it hurts me, okay? Like, I almost had to stop reading the book, because if I read Gandalf call Bilbo chap one more time, I'm gonna fucking lose it, all right? I can't handle it. Like, it is so unbelievably British, like, at all times. And I've tried a couple times to get into the book, and I couldn't. And then I just now, like, today read the, like, I guess, for me, like, the turning point where, like, now I'm actually, like, engaged in the story, and it's very clear to me what changed it. Like, I don't even have to, like, think about it, just, like, because of what happened in the story immediately, which is, like...
I feel like I can guess. You can spoil it. It's the fucking
You probably
Hobbit.
can. Yeah, it's the fucking Hobbit. I don't care.
Yeah.
It was the immediate moment where Bilbo started actually having an outcome over what was going on with the group. So it was, like, immediately, which, like, in the book, where it really is it's the spiders, right? It's when all the dwarves get taken by the spiders, and Bilbo puts on the ring and hides and then saves them all through his wit and ingenuity, and then it immediately goes to the elf city, and Bilbo saves them again through his own actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when, like, immediately it's like, okay, the book is kind of, like, interesting now. Because, like, when it's just, like, Bilbo getting saved, and it's like, I've seen the movie, so I know what's coming, and it's like, oh, Gandalf saves the day, or the dwarves are silly. It's like, all right, dude, like, I'm already having to read, like, you know what I mean? And it's not like, it's okay. It's not actually like a problem that it's like super British. It's just like I do think it actually is harder for me to read a little bit, obviously, than, you know, something written by an American author, especially like a more modern American author, just because like the way that, you know, Tolkien spoke and the way that I spoke are completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are from different countries and different centuries. So it is a little bit harder to read in that aspect, but like, it's not hard to read. And I know that, like, the way he even, like, does exposition and setting and stuff like that changes a lot when you get to Lord of the Rings, which I'm going to take a break from Tolkien. I thought I was going to do all of Tolkien before going back to other stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do that now. I think I can only take so much of that. I'm going to need to, like, space out when I do that shit. But, yeah, I just think it was interesting to me reading it, like, how immediate it was. Like, Bilbo doing things to being like, oh, the book's, like, getting good. And, like, it wasn't like I was conscious, like, oh, he's doing things, so now it's good. It was just that, like, I was engaged. You know what I mean? Like, I was actually engaged in the story for once. And then it took, like, 2 seconds of thinking about it to be like, oh, wow, like, it helps my engagement if the main character is, like, has agency in the story. Wow. Who would have thought? Which, I mean, whatever. I like Bilbo. Like, I think, he's good. And it is funny reading it after, like, having seen, because I've seen the Hobbit movies way more recently. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, like, since I was a kid. Like, the
You've
Lord
seen
of
the
Rings
Hobbit,
movies.
you mean the live action?
Yeah, and I saw the Hobbit
Hobbit
movies.
too.
Yeah, the Hobbit movies as they were coming out. So, and I haven't seen those since either, but it was more recent. You know what I mean? And also, like, the story of the Hobbit isn't that complicated. You know what I mean? Like, it's very clear when you're reading the book that it was bedtime stories. Because, like, it's so episodic where every chapter is just, like, this different little adventure that it's, these were the bedtime stories Tolkien would tell his kids, and he just kind of compiled them and put them in a book. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're going to go see the dragon and take their mountain back, and then they turn around and get Bilbo home. It's like, oh, wow. Ooh. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not, like, mind-bending, but it's fun. I mean, there are things I like about it, and when you also think about it, like, I can respect from what fantasy was before even, like, The Hobbit to, what he kind of did, like, obviously is, like, a part of it. But, like, I love the dwarves' names as, like, a small thing. Like, there's fucking Biffer and Bofer and Bomber and, like, Gloin. Like, it's so silly. I love it. You know what I mean? I could do with less singing. I don't need there to be a song in every chapter that someone's singing some fucking, like, multi-page long song. Shut up. Stop. No, nope, not for me. But I mean, I think it's good. Like, it's not, like, poorly written or anything. It just I mean, it's also like a children's book, so I'm not gonna. I think not that I can't be as into it because it's a children's book, but I don't think as important of a book and as whatever as it is. I think there aren't many people you'd find now who would just say, like, The Hobbit's my favorite book, because,
The Hobbit's my favorite book.
Like, it's good. Like, I, like, genuinely, I like Bilbo, and I love Gandalf. Don't get me wrong. I can't stand him calling Bilbo chap, but Gandalf is a fucking homie. Okay, that guy goes he's just a little he's just an asshole. Like, people will ask him shit, and he'll just be as esoteric as possible for no other reason than just to be a dick. Like, there's a scene where he does that, and he, like, they ask him a question, and he gives them the most, like, nothing answer, and then they're like, Gandalf, what does that mean? Tell us more. And he's like, okay, fine, dickheads. Like, this is what's actually going on. It's like, no, Gandalf, you're the asshole. I love it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because I have not read it recently, but when I did last read it, I had a lot of fun with it, and not my favorite book, but I guess, like, I think at the when I was first making 3x3s, I would have put it on a book 3x3, but now it's just been so long since I read any of those books that I don't know. Well, I don't even think I have enough books to go on a 3x3, but when I made, like, a mock-up, I think it was on there. But yeah, really fun book, and I hope you like the rest of it, because I think it only gets better, so.
Yeah, I mean, so they're just, like, about to go to the dragon, and, like, I'm sure it's going to be good, the rest of it. I'm really excited to see, because I know it gets mostly cut out, but I'm excited to see the book version of the Battle of Five Armies, and actually see, first of all, why all five armies are there. Because I can assume I know one of the armies. Like, just from how it's been going. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like it, and I assume I'll like it through the end. I don't think it's, gonna change my world or anything, but... Yeah,
doesn't sound like it. But
yeah, well, and that's why...
For me, or go on.
Oh, sorry, no, you go.
Oh, no, I was just because, like, you mentioned, like, children's stories. My dad read the book to me and my brother when we were kids, and, like, I think he rented the animated movie at some point, so, part of the book is definitely, like, it's been with me for a while, but I should go through it and Lord of the Rings again, because I have not read Lord of the Rings since middle school, so I don't even. It's not even real. I haven't really gone through it, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, when just the last thing I say is like that's why like I'm okay with talking about it now because I don't think my opinion's gonna be massively changed. I think like now that I've gotten to the point where my opinion has changed and like I like the book now, I don't think I know what's gonna happen. I don't think there's gonna be anything that reflips it and now I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's only like you either like it as much as you do, or you like it a bit more, right? And
like
I don't
right,
think
like it
anything's
either
like even if there's a moment where you're like that moment was fucking Kino or whatever, right? Like that's not gonna like major, I mean maybe
saying slurs on the podcast.
You're right. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. Damn it.
No,
but I'm not gonna do it.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. So that's it. Hopefully I won't have a book to talk about next time, but you never know.
You can talk about all the books you want, okay?
Yeah.
I just what we needed to.
I definitely won't though because I'm starting Wheel of Time after I finish The Hobbit. So,
Oh man, I want to catch up to this one book series by the end of the year. I'm also gonna start like 3 others.
What do you mean? I have fucking 4 books left in that other book series, and it's like the 4 shortest books in the series.
All right. Okay.
I have so much time to read Mistborn Era 2. If you don't think that's getting done, you are silly. Craftsdwarf, I've read 6 books this year.
I was just gonna say it'd be funny if next week you and I talked about Code Geass.
That would be funny. But no,
I can talk about it again. I actually can talk about it again. Dead ass. I haven't even come to the same understanding I have of R2 as like that Resurrection of Lelouch movie. I could just watch that again.
You're a goofy guy. No, it's funny.
Go on. I was just gonna say because I am interested in watching it partly because of what Nun's been saying about it, and also, I mean, the second reason also I was honestly Clamp designs because I like Clamp, and I don't know. I know they don't write it or anything, but I don't know. Clamp built different. What were you gonna say, Vindy?
Oh, I was just gonna say that. No, I mean I've read like I did the math because I've read like 6 books this year, so it's like like 3 a month. Like at the rate I'm reading, I could read like finish the series I'm on and read like Wheel of Time and Game of Thrones and I think Tolkien this year.
Ooh, shit.
That's probably not gonna happen because I'm sure I'm gonna slow down I'm just gonna slow down when I get to the slog and Wheel of Time. I know it's coming, but I'm gonna have to power through while I can to get there.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
So as promised, I'm going to talk about because I finished Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle. I'd actually finished it by last time I recorded, and then like within a couple days I finished Holic, spelled xxxholic. Since it's supposed to be like a blank that gets filled in. But anyway, so these are they're basically Clamp's longest manga, and they're also like tied together in that like they're very interrelated in that you're supposed to kind of read both at the same time. Like, literally, like, one of the first things that happens is Tsubasa. So, basically, Holic is about Watanuki, who he finds a shop where Yuko, the Witch of Space and Time, grants wishes for people who find the shop. So she does in, like, magic and supernatural shit. He can see ghosts. And literally, like, one of the first thing that happens is in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle is... So to explain what that one's about, is it's basically a multiverse journey where the 2 main characters, Sauron and Sakura... Wow, words. They're basically alternate universe versions of the same characters from Cardcaptor Sakura, but older. So, like, in Cardcaptor Sakura and Sauron are like elementary schoolers, but in Tsubasa, the alternate versions of them are teenagers. And then they're also joined by there's 2 other characters that they're with, Fai and Kurogane. And so basically the first thing that happens is Sakura gets caught up in some magical bullshit, and all of her life experiences and memories are turned into feathers and scattered around the multiverse. And Sauron ends up going to Yuko from Holic and has to make a deal with her so that he can make the multiversal journey to get the feathers that are Sakura's memories back. So that's like the first thing that happens in Tsubasa. So which connects, like, you see Watanuki. So like the 2 series are very much related, and they continue to connect throughout. Like Yuko is a pretty significant supporting character in Tsubasa, alongside being one of the main characters in Holic. And so it's just like on that it's just a really interesting read. Seeing how the 2 stories work with each other, to the point that like technically you could read them independently, but it's just so important that I can't really recommend it. And for anyone interested, I'd recommend just read one until you see the other, like something you don't recognize from the other series, and then you just like finish your arc or chapter or whatever, then you move over to the other series and just sort of read them concurrently. Tsubasa is longer, but it finished publishing first, so you'd actually finish that one first anyway. Like the end of Tsubasa, which is 10 omnibuses, lines up with the 5th omnibus out of 7 of Holic. So so Tsubasa is longer, but you'll finish it first anyway. But as general, I really like them. Like I've basically for my favorites manga reread, Tsubasa and Holic were the one that I really wanted to reread, but I decided to do it after having read all of Clamp's other published manga that are available in English. And I'm going to keep going with Clamp and read the rest of them that came out after these two, because I've just been doing it in more or less chronological disorder. And I do like a bunch of other Clamp manga, but, these two are definitely my favorite. I really like Watanuki. I really like the gang of characters in Tsubasa. Yuko. It's like, the characters are really fucking good. There's some fucking wild shit that happens. Like, with the way... Like, to the point that the first time I read it, it was honestly a little confusing at times because of how the setting mechanics work. And, like, there's some fucking crazy twists that happen that need kind of a lot of explanation. And it definitely didn't, like, click with me the first time, but rereading it, I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Like, it goes hard, for sure. And it's definitely, like, my absolute favorite Clamp stuff. As far as, like, prerequisite reading is because, like, I did read all these other series before I reread these two. Really? The only series I think you need to might even need to read before them is Cardcaptor Sakura, because not only is it like Clamp's most famous work, and it's really good, especially the anime, which is I think is better than the manga, but even though the manga has some stuff going for it as well, like they're both really fucking good. But like obviously Tsubasa has like two of the main characters are alternate versions of Cardcaptor Sakura characters, and then there's also Chloe Reed, who he's like the big important sorcerer in the whole universe, and he's a major posthumous figure in Cardcaptor Sakura and both Tsubasa and Holic. So like having the context from so Cardcaptor Sakura is like the only work that I think absolutely needs to be read before the other two. I think when I finish all the Clamp manga, I'm probably just going to talk about them on the Weeb Club. But as far as like other possible recommendations, I think RG Veda is a cool fantasy thing. That's one of my favorite. I like that Clamp manga quite a lot. And then there's Tokyo Babylon and X, which are two related series. Tokyo Babylon being the prequel. X is unfortunately it's been on hiatus for the last 20 fucking years. Like it's literally unfinished, and there hasn't been a chapter in ages. But both of those three series have the most, like, I feel like, because the thing about Tsubasa is that it's a multiverse thing, and it's kind of a mechanic that you see constant alternate versions of like characters from not only Clamp's other works, but even characters like in the series. And so, there's no time where they actually go to another world that is straight up one of their other manga, but they go to other worlds that are like that, or there's references to that. Like one world, it's like there's one short manga they did called Shun Shukaden, and there's some similarities between the characters, but some of them look completely different, and so it's like there's lots of reference, even in other Clamp's other manga, like they've always been doing references. Like I just read half of Kobato today, and there's literally like references to like Angelic Layer and Suki Dakara Suki, and just characters showing showing that they're in the same world, and it's cool. I like Clamp a lot, and these two Tsubasa and Holic in particular are very fucking good. So they're both on my 4x4 now. So yeah.
Would you say that like Clamp manga are unique enough from each other where like if you're binging through them relatively close to each other, you wouldn't like get tired of it or anything, or like need a break?
I mean, I purposely didn't read, like, I purposely staggered my reading, but I do actually think that they're really different from each other. Like, just to list through the ones, like, even the ones that are connected, like, Angelic Layer is in the same universe as Chobits, and the way that kind of, like, hashes out is really interesting. So basically, Angelic Layer is about like I guess Pokemon is a way to put it, where it's like there's these eggs that you get and they turn into like little toy robots, and then you can fight the toy robots with other people. And so it's a cute little narrative. The main character is cute, and but then like how like Chobits is complete, like it takes place in the same setting, and in the future of that setting, where instead of these toy robots, there's Persicoms, personal computers that look like women. And it sort of like looks into the idea of like virtual and like relationships with the virtual / artificial. And the connection is that there's like an exposition character in Angelic Layer who's like a goofy scientist man, and in Chobits that he's like a major like background figure kind of, and he's not portrayed as goofy at all. So it's just like you don't really need to read Angelic Layer before you read Chobits, but if you do, you get the extra connection, basically. And then, but so like even these two manga that are connected are pretty different. Probably the biggest commonality is like, well, because Clamp is a group of 4 people, so even the art will vary because they'll have different like main artists between series. Like Tsubasa and Holic look relatively different from a lot of the stuff that came before. And then like they'll have I don't know how about the writers, like if they have one writer or multiple writers, but I just feel like some of their stuff definitely I'm not super big on. But the stuff I like, I especially like Tsubasa and Holic, I really like, and I feel like they're really different. Like, they have regular like recurring themes for sure, like love and fate. Love being their biggest one, I feel. But and obviously, honestly, the biggest issue is maybe the occasional character design will look similar to another character, which I think is kind of part in some ways inevitable when like they have so many works with so many different characters and stuff, but they're still relatively distinct enough that I can tell them apart more or less. But yeah, I think their series are pretty different, and they'll all explore different ideas, even if they have the same they're under the same like framework basically. And some of them have like their connections and recurring mechanics and stuff. But yeah, like Magic Knight Rayearth is like a sort of otherworld adventure. Tsukitaka Suki is just sort of a romance story or between a student and a teacher. Cardcaptor Sakura obviously is this sort of magical girl dealing with all these weird creatures in the cards, and her own like love of all the people in her life, and like yeah, they're all very distinct. And especially I'll do a full when I finish the Clamp manga, I'm gonna do a full like, okay, here's the ones I recommend. But at least at the start, I'll give the 6 that I mentioned here: Cardcaptor Sakura, RG Beta, Tokyo Babylon X, and then obviously Holic and Tsubasa. So yeah, Clamp good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do another rotation, or are we good?
I mean, I don't think Nun and I have another one. So
I can talk about Code Geass again.
Shut up.
Again.
I don't think. You know what? That's it.
Okay, who's the hottest girl in Code Geass? I need to know. Is it Colin?
Colin.
The one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Colin.
Okay, I need to know, and now I know. Thank you. We're good.
Alrighty, gamers.
Anything next week or no?
I mean,
the
I
problem
read a little
is...
bit of spin-off manga of Code Geass, but it's like really bad, so I don't know if I'm gonna finish it.
I don't know, because the problem is there's no shot that... Or, well, not no shot. Last of Us won't be done by next week. So I don't know next week, but the week after I'll be able to talk about Last of Us Season 1, because it'll be done.
Shit.
But I don't know for next week, because, like, the game I've been playing is fucking Red Dead 2, and I have, like, 60 more hours or more left in that, so.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Who knows?
So yeah, I guess as for me, I'm still reading more Clamp manga, so maybe I'll talk about whatever I finish, but I also have shit from last year I still want to talk about, so no idea.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's either going to be Nightmare of Nunnally, which is the spin-off Code Geass manga I read a little bit of. I could actually just rewatch Resurrection of a Leech, all 3, and talk about that.
I love you.
It is another thing I need to, like, re-examine. Like, I thought it was good, but I could understand.
Here's what I'll tell you, Nun. All right, here's the deal I'll make with you now. Unless new Code Geass material comes out, the first episode you don't talk about it, you can't talk about it again.
What? Bro.
So as long as you keep the Code Geass streak alive, I'm okay with you talking about it as long as you want.
Look, Look, I didn't even mention the fact that there was this fucking, like, this day when I just woke up and I was thinking about Lelouch and I put on colors and I started crying.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
I was thinking about my life and I was also missing Lelouch. I was just crying, bro. I don't know what you want from me.
I will
Nunmanji's
see
a
y'all.
fucking hero.
What a guy. Adios, gamers.
All right, see you next time. Goodbye.